Well, I think it's not a hot take to say that eventually you're gonna change. Everyone's gonna change. Change is probably the biggest inevitability in the world. And even if you made a promise to someone, I promise I won't change. Well, you are gonna change in some way or another. It's not possible to not change, either willingly or unintentionally. And either for the better or for worse, you are just simply gonna change. You're gonna be a person that is not the exact person that you were some times ago. Yeah, but see, then that's the problem because surely everyone have any some kind of ambitions of themselves that they want to change into, but that doesn't always happen, right? Because some people just succeed in it, and some people doesn't. Now, what I'm trying to lead into here is when you want to change, but you simply cannot because you're holding yourself back out of your fear, insecurities, out of experiences that happened in the past that made you scared of changing in that direction. And this is actually quite relatable to me, fresh in college because in university because I've had a lot of friends here, and I think I've said that multiple times throughout my videos because it actually is just quite baffling to me that I have made so many friends when in the entirety of my life, at every given point, I've never had more than say like three other friends. But now it's just like it's a lot for me and more than I'm used to. And if I'm being honest, it's quite a lot to handle. I don't know if I would want this many friends because well, I've always been a person who doesn't hang out with people a lot, as I've said, and a person who appreciates my alone time a lot more than others. So for my current social status, it's a lot different from what I would have imagined, or at least my past self would have imagined for me. This constant influx of, I guess, social interactions is just not something that I'm used to. And if I'm being frank, it's getting kind of overwhelming. My current situation and the person that I've always been, it's kind of clashing against one another. Because, I do want to have a lot of friends here because I'm all alone here if there's no friends. I don't have anyone to rely on other than the people that I have around me. But this desire to be distant from them just shows how I'm kind of trapped in my old ways of thinking, in that I'm just not very comfortable with people, even though these people are seemingly very nice, and also I've known them for about like 4 months now, which is quite a decent amount to start opening up to people. But yet, I still find myself being very exhausted and overwhelmed whenever a lot of them go around, even though with each of them individually, I've hung out with each of them before. So I think it ties back to what I said at the beginning, right? In that you want to make changes. There's some ambitions that you have for yourself, but your past self just kind of prevents you from doing so out of the fear of the change, or simply it's because you've been so used to one way that the other way just seems so overwhelming. And I obviously struggle with this quite a lot because with the amount of friends I have, I we live in the same dormitory too. But every time when they would go together to school in the morning, I would just not because I just simply tell them that well in the morning I just like peace and quiet. But no, that's true, but that's not the full extent of it. I want to be alone for most of my days. So most of the time, I just find myself not wanting to interact with them. But I just want to yap about it because it's just something that I have found with myself, in that I made I thought that I had changed a lot, and I you know what, I actually did. But there's still definitely some remnants of my past flaws or some character traits that I maybe just never be able to get rid of. Because as far as I remember, I was always been on the more quiet side of things, and I don't think that'll change anytime soon. It's just who I am. That's about it.